Today's flow is going to be full body as usual with a little emphasis on shoulder opening. And for today's flow or class, you want either a yoga block, and if you don't have a yoga block, then just pull in a pillow of some kind. So you'll want those handy. I'll give you a second to grab either a yoga block or a pillow. All right, without further ado, we'll begin here. My name's Johanna, owner of Onsight in Berkeley, owner of Onsight Chiropractic in Berkeley. And we're partnering with PacWest Endurance today for the gentle flow. Go ahead and separate your feet. We'll begin in a goddess stance. So toes point out a little bit. And then sink down as you bend your knees to a comfortable angle, your knees on top of your ankles. And let the shoulders just drop and relax. This should be a moderate difficulty. You're not going into your deepest squat right away. Just close your eyes for just a moment. Take a deep inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. And exhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. One more round, nice and slow. Deep breath in, 2, 3, 4. And exhale it out, 2, 3, 4. Go ahead and open your eyes. Wiggle out your shoulders, your hands, your wrists, staying here in a little squat position. And then let the arms enliven. Fingers spread really wide apart. Elbows straighten. Arms nice and strong. As you bring your arms up, then we'll straighten out the legs into star shape here. Straighten and strengthen your thigh muscles, arm muscles. Your joints really strong and engaged. Deep breath in and out. And then melt down, relax the arms, lowering into goddess. Shake out the shoulders, wrists, hands. Go ahead and feel your hand on your belly button or just below your belly button, and you pull in. So we have a slight posterior pelvic tilt here. So low back is flat-ish rather than concave. You want to have a flat-ish low back and a strong core here. Let the arms release once again, and then together, arms rise, standing tall, star. Pausing here, straightening and strengthening your arms and your legs, and then melting down. Arms release. This time, include your head and neck, shaking, releasing. And then arms and legs straighten as you rise up. Beautiful. Bring your hands to your hips and either walk or jump together. Bring the toes together. Bring the heels together. See if you can connect the ankle bones and feel the inner thighs pushing toward each other. Closing down any gap between your legs. Take your arms up as high overhead as possible. Interlace the hands. Bend here a little bit. Shake into the pose. We're going to have a steeple grip here. So the first two, your index fingers are straight and strong, and your palms are connected together. Stand tall, and then we're going to sway left and right a few times. Standing half moon here. Connecting from the fingertips down the armpits, the lat muscles, the obliques, and into the hip muscles, feeling everything connected down the lateral side bodies. And then the next time you're over to the right, go ahead and pause there. Take a full breath in and out. And then inhale, standing up. Exhale, other side. Take a full breath in and out here on this side. And then inhale, stand tall. Go ahead and just release the arms down, shoulders soften, slowly coming back to a standing position in the middle of your mat. Go ahead and just turn your head left and right a few times, releasing any little bit of tension building up in your neck and shoulders. Good. Go ahead and take the arms and cross them one over the other. Bending your elbows, you're going to try to connect the palms or connect the backs of the hands into eagle arm position. If this isn't working for you today, then go ahead and just take a big old bear hug, reaching for the opposite shoulder blades. Either way, we're going to go ahead and glide the arms up and down if you're in eagle arms. Or if you're in the bear hug, you can lift and lower the elbows a couple times. And then lower everything down. So start to squat down into a chair pose, squeezing the legs together. Even those ankle bones, feel them connected to each other. Keeping the bind of your arms or the wrap of your arms as you sit your booty back. See if you can tap into that lower navel area. See if you can pull in to support your low back using your core muscles. And then for fun, just lift up one leg. Lift up the other leg. Finding a little balance here in the morning. Release the arms and then stand tall. Shake it out. Add a twist this time. Standing, releasing as our transition into the next side. So this time, find the other arm on top. Either a bear hug or a wrap of the forearms connecting the hands and eagle arms. Wherever you are, squat back into the chair pose. And then gently hinging the shoulders by lowering the arms up, lowering them down and raising them up a few times. All the while finding some sense of steadiness in your breath. In and out through your nose or in through your nose, out through your mouth. Keep those elbows low. Squat back a little bit lower. Pulling the navel in toward the spine. Weight is in your heels. And then slowly release the arms first and then stand tall. And separate the feet, hip width distance-ish. Hands on your hips so that you feel the hinge of your hips as you start to bend the knees a little bit and then start to lean forward a little bit. You're going to connect the belly button to your thighs as you move into the forward fold position, eventually letting your head release all the way down and letting hands touch the floor or your legs. Uttanasana. Staying here in the forward fold for a couple more breaths. And then we're going to make our way onto the mat. So just bring your hands down and then lower the knees down one at a time. We're going to come into hands and knees on your mat in preparation for some cat-cow spinal extension, spinal flexion. So getting those knees and hips stacked and those wrists and shoulders stacked. Go ahead and begin by tilting the tailbone up and gaze up. And then dropping the tailbone down like a wave moving through the spine, chin tucks in. moving with the own rhythm of your body, maybe the rhythm of your breath as you move through several rounds of cats and cows. Using this opportunity to connect with a long, steady breath. Let it feel easy through the shoulder tops. Make sure those are drawn low enough away from the ears so that you're not crowding the neck. Let's do a couple more rounds. Cats and cows. And then come to neutral. So neither a cat nor a cow, but flat-ish back. And then we're going to wag the tail. So look back toward one hip and then the other hip. So wagging the tail is a lateral bending of your spine. Move again into a nice flow, following the rhythm of your breath. And connecting especially with the outer hips and the outer torso, like your oblique areas, just tapping in to the sensations, especially in those places. And then after a couple more rounds, we'll come to a pause. So now it's come into neutral for just a moment. And then you're going to lift your right hand up and then threading the needle. That hand slides behind the left hand until your shoulder can touch the floor. Once your shoulder does, then your head rests down. So in thread the needle here, butt stays high, and then your weight is completely into the shoulder and the knees. Very little bit of weight into the side of your head. And then with that left hand, you're gently pushing away from the floor in order to feel a twist happening and a shoulder blade opening happening. So see if you can tap into those sensations right now. Back of the right shoulder blade extending away from the spine. Good, and then pressing into your left hand to return to quadruped, hands and knees. And then we'll switch sides here. So taking the left hand, sliding it behind the right until your shoulder touches the floor, and then the side of your head just above your ear touches the floor. Gently pressing the right hand palm into the floor to create a little enhanced twist in the spine and stretch in the back of the shoulder blade area. And then press into the right palm as you come back up. We'll drop into a child's pose for a moment to rest the forehead on the floor, extending the arms long, and then relaxing the forearms, the hands. And so consider this a midway break in our class this morning. Returning to awareness of your breath. And let's remind ourselves to continue to keep that awareness on your breath as much as possible, as often as possible, through the remaining half of our class. So we're going to do a slight flow here to get into the strength of our shoulders. You're going to interlace your hands together so you create a triangle shape, bringing your hands and forearms to the mat. We're moving into dolphin pose. So this is like a downward dog, except you're on forearms with hands clasped. Tuck the toes under, and then lift the hips up. Notice that you're not placing your head on the mat at all. You're engaging under the armpits to really keep your head away from the mat. And then bring your gaze back towards your knees. Pedal it out a couple of times, so bending one knee, straightening the other, shifting through left and right. And then come forward. Find the right position of your feet here. Come into forearm plank. Straight and strong legs here. Energize shoulders. And then we're going to move back to dolphin. We're going to do that 2 more times. Coming forward into forearm plank. Straight and strong. Make sure you're not collapsing at the shoulders. And then hips shift up, dolphin. And then coming forward one more time into your strong forearm plank. And then drop the knees to the floor. Take a rest, child's pose. Dropping the forehead, resting the arms. And then you're going to crawl the hands in and sit on up. Taking the knees together, here's where you're going to want either your block or a pillow. Go ahead and grab either. I'm going to use my yoga block. So sitting on your heels here, thighs squeezing together, knees squeezing together. So there's a little bit of strengthening, energizing through the thighs, the inner thighs especially. Place your block a little bit forward of your knees. You may eventually scooch it closer, but we'll start with a little bit of a gap. And we're going to move into rabbit pose, which is a really intense opening or lengthening between the shoulder blades, your rhomboids, and the upper spinal muscles. So all of those erector spiny muscles starting, which start up at the back of the head here, at the back of the skull. So we're going to begin by just feeling the back of the neck as your chin draws in towards your throat. So getting really strong here in the front throat area to support the opening in the back neck. And from here you're going to grab onto the backs of your heels. And you're going to start to round forward, keeping that throat lock and bringing the crown of the head toward that block or pillow. Once you connect, then you can really grab onto your heels with your hands. And from here you can start to lift the hips away from the heels. So that strong grip allows there to be very little weight into your head. So we're really emphasizing and focusing on this upper back stretch. No strain here. And then we'll do this one more time. So we'll come out, unwind. Now that you know where we're going, then you can just ease into it at your own pace. Take a moment to roll the shoulders, maybe look up and look down, and look side to side to release your neck. So we'll move into this one more time, and you know where the crown of your head is going, it's toward that block or pillow. Go ahead and start with the throat lock, so drawing the chin in really close to the throat. Rounding the rest of the spine as you bring your head toward the block. And especially when you find connection with the crown of the head to the block or pillow, then really grip the hands to the heels. And lifting the hips slowly, slightly. The arms become very straight and strong. And then release as you rise up, setting the hips back to the heels. Place that to the side. We're going to be rolling onto our backs finally. We're going to move into a side-lying spinal twist. We have a happy baby here. So rolling down onto your side, just choose one side. And then bring the knees up to 90-degree angles at the hips and the knees. Let your head come down to the floor. Start onto the shoulders, onto your side body, and then taking the top arm, then you kind of windmill it up toward the ceiling and then back behind you. Your gaze can come toward the ceiling as well, but keep those legs connected. You may want to grab that pillow if this feels uncomfortable for your neck or your head. You can place that pillow under your head if you'd like. So notice a ringing out of your spine. With each exhalation, you're really drawing the navel in toward the spine, creating micro deepening into the twist. And then slowly release. Come face the way that you started. And then make your way onto the other side. Again, hips and knees make a 90-degree angle, lowering onto that side, onto your shoulder. Start with your hands connected, head resting either on the floor or the pillow. From here, take the top arm and gently reach up toward the ceiling and reach back behind you. Let the gaze come up toward the ceiling. Keep those inner thighs and those knees strongly connected. And really deepen into your breath and into the relaxation here. Into the gentle chest opening. And final breath or two in this side-lying twist. And then we'll finish up on our backs. Come on to your backs. Take up the full length of your mat, stretching out your legs and your arms, reaching and growing. And then letting the arms just glide down the floor, letting the toes splay out, backs of the hands rest on the floor. Finding a moment, whether it's 30 seconds or 10 minutes, to lie here on your back in Shavasana. Releasing any intentional breath here, letting your mind be the observer of your body. And we'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.